this session, we will review utilities. Utilities is found toward the bottom left-hand corner of the Club System screen. Clicking on the utilities icon, we're going to focus on the bottom section called Data File Maintenance. The top two sections, called Account Functions and Transaction File Maintenance, does involve a little bit of in-depth training. These are features that could make mass changes across your system, so be sure to ask about these icons before clicking and running any routines or procedures using these icons in your system. Please feel free to contact customer service for more information as to what they're for and what they do if you click on these icons. So focusing on data file maintenance, the first icon that we see is called Compress Files. Compress Files is where you can go to compress your member account files and remove the canceled accounts from your active accounts and place them in their own section of the software called X Accounts. Clicking on Compress Files, you do have the ability to preview a report that's going to show you the members that are currently set to be compressed and removed from your active members. So make sure to click Preview first before running this routine to actually compress the files out of your system. Clicking on Preview, it would show you a listing of members that are currently canceled and set to be compressed. A brief review on how to properly cancel your members that you would like to compress from your system. We'll go to Accounts and go to Modify Account and pull up the member by account number or name. For members to be compressed from the system, we would have to make sure that they're canceled by hitting the Cancel Member button that we see toward the top left of your screen. When clicking on Cancel Member, it tells us at the top, warning, all pay method information will be erased, and then it will ask, continue with canceling this account. And that is correct. Once you click Cancel Member on any member account, any billing information that they've had on their account, whether it's credit card, bank account information, or even if they're set up as a direct bill, any billing information will automatically be removed from their account when you click Cancel Member. And this is the portion to pay special attention to. Remove record when compressing files, and it gives you the option of yes or no. If this is a record that you would like completely removed from your system when you compress your files, meaning that you will not be able to find them even in the X account section, they're going to be completely gone from your system altogether, then you can say yes, that you do want to remove the record when you compress your files. If you say no, that you do not want to remove the record when compressing your files, then the system will retain a basic record of this member that you can then view in X Accounts. The account will still be removed from your active member database, but you still will be able to look up basic information on that person under the X Accounts section. So yes, if you want them completely removed once you compress, or no, if you'd like to keep just a basic record and be able to see them under the X Accounts section. We proceed by clicking Continue and scrolling down the account until we get to the portion called Billing Information. We notice that this now says that it's a canceled account, and it asks the question here to compress. Do we want to compress this account? Yes or no? If you say yes, that you do want to compress the file, you would just save your changes, and then this account technically is one that's set to be compressed. So going back to our utilities icon, if we click Compress Files and click Preview, we'll now see the account that I just canceled by hitting Cancel Member and selecting Yes on their main screen and making sure that that is saved, that this is a file that I would like to compress. Once you've reviewed this report and have made sure that all of these accounts are okay to compress at this time, you would be able to run this routine, it will take a few moments to actually process and compress these particular files. And once this routine is complete, you're going to notice that those accounts are no longer going to be under your Modify Account section. But if you have selected to not remove the record once they're compressed, then you will be able to find those compressed members under this X account section. So still staying within the same accounts icon, but they'll now be found under X accounts rather than your regular member accounts. So clicking on X accounts, here you can search for the member by their last name by typing in their last name and clicking the binoculars. And this is the basic record that is kept for the person. You will be able to view their personal information, such as name, address, telephone numbers, and email. And as far as account information is concerned, you'll be able to see what type of a membership it is that they had under member type, when they were first added into the system or first joined the facility, who their sales rep was, etc. So this is the basic information that is kept for the member once they're compressed if you have chosen not to remove their record. Once members are compressed, it is important to remember that you will lose their notes, you will lose their transaction history, and you will also lose their account change history. Those sections are not saved once a member is compressed. This is the only basic information that you'll retain if you are choosing to compress your canceled member files. And when you're processing them for cancellation, again, where it asks you to remove record, when compressing yes or no, if you're selecting no to not remove the record, this is the information that you retain. Going back to utilities and staying within the section called Data File Maintenance, we will take a look at the second icon that you can use there from your facility, which is called Cancel PX Accounts. Cancel PX Accounts is another routine that you can run that will go in and officially cancel out all of the members that you have in your system that are set up on the PX or pending cancellation code. Going back into our accounts, we'll pull up a member account to see how someone can be set up for a pending cancellation. This is the member that we just canceled and set up for compression, but I'm going to go ahead and just reinstate it at this time so we can take a look how to set him up for a pending cancellation, and then how to then go in and cancel all of those pending cancellation members all at once versus having to go into those accounts one by one and do them individually. Okay, so now that this account has been reinstated, it just looks like any normal active account that would be in the system. So if this customer has come in and is wanting to cancel their membership, depending on your individual facility policy on canceling, if your members are required to give you some sort of advance notice, whether it's a 30-day notice or 60-day notice, there are some modifications that you would have to make to their account to ensure that that is done properly. And we will discuss that and review those details further in the training session covering the modification and updating of member accounts. We're briefly going to take a look at those steps at this time so we can see how to set up someone for a pending cancellation, and then how to go in and officially cancel all of those member accounts in Club Systems. So starting with somebody coming in and turning in a 30-day notice, for example, we would want to make sure to come into the account and change their expiration date. This is their membership expiration date. And by changing this date, this will affect the person's checking in capability. It's important to remember that when you go into a member account and change their expiration date, that this is not in any way, shape, or form directly linked to their billing. If you set someone up to expire, all that will affect is their checking in capability. And if they were trying to check in after their expiration date, then they would, of course, red screen. And you would be able to see that that customer is expired, and that's why they're red screening at this time. However, this date field is in no way, shape, or form connected to the billing portion of the account. The billing information has its own start dates and end dates for billing, and this is what determines and controls when a member begins to bill and when they will stop billing based on the date settings that you have in this specific section. So again, just as a review, by adjusting the customer's expiration date, this will prevent them from being able to check in after the time that they are supposed to have access. So going in and changing their expiration to the last day that they can use the facility, that would be our first step. The second step would be to go to the code, status code drop-down menu and change their code to that of PX or pending cancellation. That is just letting us know that this person is set up for a pending cancellation and their account should be canceled soon. That would be the second step, and then moving down to the third step would to scroll down to that billing information section, taking a look at this end date and making sure that this is set to the last month and year we want this customer actually to bill in. Whatever date is set here, this will be the last time that they are billed. So once we've made those adjustments, we would click Save. We will get into more detail on making changes for canceling members, putting members on freeze, things of that nature in the training session called Modifying of Accounts. But for right now, those are our main steps to make sure that the expiration has been set, to make sure that their code has been set to PX for pending cancellation, and to definitely make sure that any billing has been stopped as to when their last payment is supposed to come out. Keep in mind that if you do have additional services set up on the member account, that would be on a separate billing screen called View Modify Services, in which case you would have to put an end date to the billing for those services as well on that separate screen. So once we've made these adjustments, and once the customer has expired in the system, the account does not go away. It basically will sit here just as an expired account. And the account itself will not automatically go in and cancel itself once the expiration date has been met. So it will just sit here as an expired account until you go in and click Cancel Member. It's clicking that Cancel Member button that will officially cancel someone in the Club Systems program. So by setting the code to PX, this is a shortcut, and this will help you in the long run, because as you set up your members for cancellation on these pending cancels, especially if they're due to bill one more month because it's a 30-day notice, what you then will be able to do, going back to our utilities icon, is come down to this data file maintenance section under utilities, and we will revisit this icon called Cancel PX Accounts. So what this routine is going to do is allow you to specify the accounts expired dates. So from this particular start date to this end date, for the accounts that have expired within that date range, you would put in your dates accordingly. Then it asks us here again, remove records when compressing files. And this again just means that when and if you go in and compress your files, do we want to completely remove these accounts from the system and they'll disappear from the entire system, or no, we don't want to remove the records when we compress. We want to keep that basic record where we can see it under X accounts. And it will ask for a system password. When processing this sort of a routine, you can contact Club Systems customer service if you need assistance with what your system password is. But I do strongly suggest clicking on Preview to be able to preview the list of members that are set up for pending cancellation. So just redoing our dates here to see if I can pull up the customer that we just set up for a pending cancellation. Here we have the account that we just set up for pending cancellation and set them to that code. So by clicking Preview, you're going to be able to look through this list, just make sure everybody's okay to be officially canceled at this time. And when you finally run this routine, what the system is going to go in and do is go click that cancel member button on each one of those accounts that have expired during the date range that you've specified here. So it will do that step for you, so you're not having to go into those individual accounts and do them one by one. And those are the two main icons that as a facility you can go in and run some of these routines yourself if you are wanting to compress, or to go in and officially cancel out all of those PX status code members. That concludes our review on utilities.